Hello, hello! Welcome to fan fiction that probably isn't fan fiction. So, today's subject is Jumanji slash Zathura. So the reason I have chose this and why it's a bit of a slash is because Zathura was a bit based off of Jumanji. Before I really get into depth of everything, subscribe, like, and you guys know what that means. Now we're moving on. So, about Jumanji and Zathura. They both sort of have the basic elements, I would say. Their story-wise differentiates a bit, but they have about the same sort of storyline. Jumanji is a African-styled board game where the players of the board game enter a role. Well, when you start rolling the dice and pieces move, things happen in the real life where they could have a good chance of dying. Same thing in Zathura, except in this case it's a tin. I'll just have pictures of a picture of the Jumanji board game, which is very well known for the first movie. It had a series, but wasn't well known. And then the two movies that came out. And then those, Jumanji, the series, if you already know, you play the game, you get trapped inside the game until you win and say Jumanji's name. So yeah, that's Jumanji. Zathura is quite similar in that aspect. There are a few different details. One, it's not made out of wood or it's a video game. It's this sort of tin picture of the game here. So this one's space theme, as you can tell from the picture. So Zathura, you turn the key, you press the go button, and it lands, and you get a card, and stuff happens, just like Jumanji, where this movie was actually based off of that. So yeah. Now we have that out of the way, I'll explain sort of the character I made and how my story was. Also, just to know, there is no spoilers of anything, because the story I'm doing is merely hypothetical. Basically, based off of that stories, here's my story. So yeah. So, the character I made is the creator of Zathura and Jumanji. Zathura was lost very quickly, and so did Jumanji. Well, sorry. Zathura got lost pretty quickly, but Jumanji was a lot more popular. So, and I'm not quite sure what his name should be. You guys could give ideas in the comments. So, yeah. So, here's how the story goes. In the future, the creator of the board games made Zathura and Jumanji. Only two games he ever made. He tried selling them, but no one was buying because everyone just thought it was outdated tech. Everyone was doing what they wanted to do, and all the video games, virtual reality, everything. And so he sought out some help from a witch doctor. Or wizard, I'm not quite sure exactly which. So, he seeks out help and asks them to give life to his board games. However, he wasn't aware of the price that would pay. So he wanted his games to really have the aspect of like you're actually in the game and playing, and it's fun. So he cut a deal. However, the deal had a price to pay. His soul was split in half. One half went inside the Jumanji game, and the other half went in the Zathura game. And the witch doctor, tricking this poor guy, takes his board games and throws them back in time. Jumanji lands further back in time, while Zathura landed more in the 19th century. Sorry, 20th century. Technically 19th, but yeah. However, Jumanji fell much further than that. It fell like almost 400 years before them. So Jumanji he played and played on. The only way that the creator of the games could be free is if someone played the game exactly how he played it during his beta testing in Jumanji and Zathura. If they play it exactly the same way he did, and on the same spaces, get the same roles, and get the same outcomes, he would come back as soon as the game was over. Same thing with Zathura. Play the same way, he comes out. But the only thing is, it's half of him. Half of him lived for 400 years, while the other only lived for a few. So, as time progressed, the only way he can escape this prison he made for himself, he made drums. As you know, there's a calling from Jumanji, but there is no calling from Zathura. So he plays the drums in order to attract players in hopes that they get the same fate. However, no one gets the same roles as he did, and even if they land on the same spaces, they didn't get the same outcomes. Years and years pass by. This is now a little bit past around the time the Jumanji video games now. He realized he cannot escape, so he has to change tactics. It turns into a video game. But it's still not working. He can still get out if someone plays the exact way he did. Same spaces is the same way he played. Same thing with Zathura, but still not really discovered yet, as it was just abandoned in a house and no one else played it ever again. So, time progresses and he's still trapped inside both his creations. One day, though, he managed to lure in a few adults. A science teacher, a female math teacher, and a friend of theirs. And friends of each. They played the game, and he was slightly disappointed. He was thinking, another people, well, they probably won't get the same results. They roll the dice, and it started to play how he did. And it keeps going on, and there are new rules that they're just discovering through this video game. It's like he's giving so much hope at this time because no one's gotten this close. As soon as they won the game, they were relieved it was done, but they didn't know they also released the game maker. He came out of the game and gleeful with joy, just, I'm free, I'm finally free from my prison. And the game just turns into ash. Ash, never to be seen again. And he's just so overfilled with joy. He gives the players a big hug and is like, thank you so much. I've been trapped in there forever. You have no idea. And it's like, they're very confused on who this person is. They got a player in the game, but he disappeared afterwards. And then he explained he was the game maker. Of course, they tried to hurt him immediately as soon as he said this. But then he said, I was tricked into this. It wasn't my intention for anyone to have any harm. As over the years went by, players have actually died in the game, which is not in the movies I'm adding in my story. So, he came out. He came out of the crystal, and the crystal is a bit of a tattoo on his left arm. And he's like, now I just need to find the other half. And he has no idea where it landed because he was trapped in Jumanji, and that was all he knew of. Looking into the Zathura part, Zathura is still moving around. It stays in the house mostly until, if you have seen the movie, he, let's say, time passes by, the father leaves the house, and no one comes back to the house until new realtors came in and found the game. The realtors played the game, and it was going so well. It was halfway there, and the Jumanji half of the creator was still looking for this board game, and he had no idea where it landed, nowhere what time. All he could know is it had to come out eventually, but he didn't know how long. As soon as he got the other half, he could go home. So the realtors kept playing the game, and things get more chaotic, and it is this close. They just need to get hit this last roll, and he's free. They get the roll, and now he's free. If you saw the Zathura movie, near the ending, the ball comes up, but this time it doesn't go back down. It then takes form of a guy, and the letter Z in the circle appears on that one's right arm. And then Zathura turns it to ashes. The realtors are confused, and he explains, "I'm the creator of this game." And of course they immediately try punching him again. And he said, "I need to find the other game. I don't know where it is. Can you be able to help me?" They have heard reports of a game, some chaotic game, and that happened somewhere in London. So, the Zathura side of the creator gets over it as fast as it can. The Jumanji side has no idea still. The people that played the game are willing to help him. He finally finds his two halves and becomes one again. He is so glad he's whole again, and he can finally go home. He thanks all of his players for playing and gives them deepest apologies for all the chaos that happened over a game he just wanted to make fun for everyone. And he just goes home. Well, that's the end of that story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions on what you guys want to see turned into a fan fiction video next, leave in the comments below. I will get to it, I promise. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.